Tony, talk to us a little bit about joining this family that is already so established and so beloved.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, and which helps because Forky is very overwhelmed. But I remember when they brought me up to Pixar and they kind of described him as, he's kind of nervous, and I was like, check. He asks a lot of questions, check. And he's kind of gullible to a fault, and I was like, bingo, I'm in. So I just love that he, sees everything as new, and I mean, mainly I love that he's a character that his home place is trash. That's all he knows, is to help people eat soup. And then Woody comes along and shares that he has a greater purpose. And I think just in life, anybody who might see themselves that way, and they have worth, they have purpose. And that's just a beautiful message that Toy Story is giving us.
This is for Annie. What is it like stepping back into Bo Peep's bag?
Knickers?
There you go.
Pantaloons, I think. That old-fashioned thing. Well, lovely with, a new, improved, emboldened, courageous, seasoned gal. It's been lovely.
When I saw the movie, I never predicted that this was going to be the end of Woody's story. I didn't think that this is where it was going to go, but it's so beautiful and so perfect. And I was just wondering, what were your thoughts and emotions when you first read the script for Toy Story 4?
Reading the script, that's hilarious. The way this has worked, on the first one, and this was now 4 years ago, we actually did read a script. It was a screenplay that looked like every other screenplay. And you read that, and then you saw every storyboard animatic of the entire story. The second movie, there was a script, but there was no really. We had made when we had the understanding of it. We realized there's no real way you can appreciate the weaving of imagery and character that Pixar did on the paper. So we really did wait to see the sequences put together. The third one, they didn't even bother doing anything other than showing us the movie in animatic form before we began recording. And on this one, I never read a complete script. I don't think anybody did, but we read the sequences that we were in and had a continuous running dialogue of what was going. These movies are made with a great flexibility of it. They work on it, you record it, they start off with the storyboards and words that you say, then you record them, and then they go away for 6 months and refine and alter and change and test what we have done up to that point. And so every time we would show up to work, there would be some new iteration of this idea that had been presented to us at the beginning of what everybody's going through. And what was brand new on this one was that Annie and I got to record together at the same time. And that never happens. You're always in a sound stage by yourself, not being able to move off mic. And we got to actually relate with this vast history between the two of us. You'd leave a recording studio session thinking, wow, we took it pretty far there. But every time we showed up for the next one, something was revealed to us in the pages that they had for us. So we always knew what territory we were going into, but never the specific route.
Sort of like acting as a treasure hunt.
Hi, this is for Tony. I've been obsessed with Forky since the teaser trailer.
Aww.
And just went in last night. They're handing out Funko Pops. Forky was the first to go.
I haven't got one.
It's fabulous.
Thank you. What pops?
Wondering what it's like to have a character in a movie that's not even released yet, that is already a favorite of so many people and has already become so iconic.
Oh, well, that's really nice to hear. I mean, I mean it when I say that I'm still kind of waking up to this. So even you saying that, I'm like, sorry, say that again. It's hard to even digest because this has been such a iconic franchise that I never thought that I would be a part of something. But to what Woody, just call him Woody. He's always Woody to me. But to what Tom was saying is there was a simplicity to Forky that I just absolutely fell in love with, and the fact that he's I mean, he's made from pipe cleaners and a spork and little popsicle sticks, and he brings Bonnie so much joy. And he's brought into the world. He doesn't understand the rules of the universe. He's very confused when people drop to the ground, when humans walk in. You know, he's just kind of always wide-eyed, and he's very present. And I loved the simplicity of it. And it's been a huge honor to voice him. But I will say, we are so grateful to be here and to be these voices. But we are such a small piece of the pie of what is involved in Toy Story. The amount of artistry and creatives and tremendous labor that has gone into this movie outside of us. I mean, the attention needs to be shined on that, because they really have worked so hard, and it's just, the movie is eye candy. It's just such a visual masterpiece. It really is.
As of yesterday, my favorite animated character of all time, maybe apart from Mickey Mouse, is Forky. Now, I feel that he was very Buster-esque. Sure. Is that a conscious decision? It was perfect, absolutely perfect.
Thank you.
Did you go through anything for his personality?
I just dove into a lot of pain. I think it's like, because somebody mentioned, what was really funny is when I came into Pixar, they had attached some lines from Buster Bluth and Gary Walsh from Veep to Forky, just to kind of give him his kind of essence and his kind of neurosis. And I thought about it, I was like, you know what, Forky and Gary and Buster would be little neurotic Avengers together, just walking around the world. But I don't know, he's very, there's a lot going on,
He's the guy, I think I have said these 3 words more on the Toy Story movies than I've said anywhere else in my life, and it has always been, come on, guys! I've said, come on, guys, 8 billion times in some iteration of all the Toy Story stuff. You've been to Disneyland as well. I don't know if they have it in Disney World, but, they have that Fantastique, whatever, and everybody's fireworks and there's dancers. And in Disneyland, the closing of the show is the Mark Twain steamboat comes by, and all of the Disney characters are dancing on the steamboat. Belle and Sleeping Beauty and Mickey and everyone. Mulan is there. They're all there. Captain Hook, Peter Pan. And I was there with my family. My daughter, who's in her 30s, burst into tears. I said, what's wrong? And she said, look, Dad, look at the end of the boat. And it was Woody and Buzz. And she said, Dad, you will always be on that boat dancing for the rest of time as long as Disneyland is here. And, that's more than just a cool thing. It's actually some sort of talisman, I think, that we all get to carry with us now, just because we were smart enough to say, how do you think we should do this, guys? Come on, guys! How do you...
Summer before last, I just want to say this, it struck me. So I was in a boat going down a remote area of the Amazon, and there was a local boy, playing on the banks of the river, and he had on a t-shirt that said Toy Story with Woody on the front. This is on the Amazon. And I thought, man, this thing is so much bigger than any of us could ever have imagined, and has gone so far.
There's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie because we just got lazy. And so you can find, I swear, if you pause any frame when they're in the story, you'll see something in the background. That's from something.
Yeah, from every movie Pixar's ever done, there's something in the antique store.
Wow, come on.
Some we didn't even know. The sets department, I just noticed the other day, Carl and Ellie's house shrunk down on a shelf, from up. And
Bing Bong's rocket is in the background.
Now,
for sale.
Will we have the ability, or because we're streaming these things now, that we can actually pause them and look at them? Can you do that when you're streaming something?
Yeah, you can pause. It's a little harder, but you can do it.
Okay, all right. Because I just go to the theater and scream back at the projection.
That's hard.
You gave a very emotional performance at the end, and it's a very emotional moment at the end of the movie for Woody. Can you talk about the emotions that you have coming to the end of Woody's story, at the end of Toy Story 4?
We were all there, and when we ended up recording the very last line, I had to come to there was a realization where it was like, oh, Is that the last line? And they all said, yeah, that's it. And it was, we were back in the original, we were in studio.
HB.
Yeah, yeah.
Disney.
Stage B.
For the recorded
Doc, who was the mixer, was through the glass, and that's where it all began, and that's where it was all ending. Earlier, the sessions before that, Tim had texted me, and with his in that kind of way. Hey, hold on to yourself, these lads. I'm gonna believe it. Still recover. And so, knowing that we were going to be in this territory, I asked if it was okay. Usually, you have the mic stand and the mic, you have the stand and the mic, and they're all at a table in front of you. And I asked if we could turn it around so my back was to them, because I didn't want to have any self-consciousness for what I knew was going to be the last, certainly the last few hours I'm going to be spending on the movie, but also recording the last scenes. And when it came to pass, I felt as though I was on the other side of a river waving to everybody that I had left back in the old country. It was pretty profound. It was there's so much muscle memory that goes into it. You drive into the lot through the same gate. You park in the same spot they had for you. Then you go through the same doors and you get in your car and you drive back through and you think, I've recorded the last moment of the current Toy Story. And we have these talking points that we've been given in regards to talking about whatever future may come to pass. Just give me a second, I'll give you the official rendition of what I'm supposed to say in regards to a possible other Toy Story.
I think you just said a lot of stuff you weren't supposed to.
I think I just did.
Pretty sure about that.
I know where we leave off. The Toy Story 4 is about Woody's journey into the world outside the comfort of Bonnie's playroom and all the possibility that holds for a toy. So just take that and extrapolate it as far as you want to, and let's see what goes on. And thank you, Disney Vertical Integration Department, so that I'm aware of what I'm supposed to say here.
Thank you for staying on message.
Since we have Disney Plus, would you ever be interested in exploring Toy Story World on that streaming service for the future? Maybe spin-off or shorts or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm producing some short films for Disney Plus, which star Forky, our very own Tony Hale.
Isn't that the best news ever?
So yeah, there's a series.
He asks a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's a series called Forky Asks a Question, and there's 10 episodes that will be on Disney Plus when it comes live in November.
I'm not working on them, but they are hilarious.
And I love it because it's these questions that maybe people are embarrassed maybe to ask, but they really don't know. And I learned so much just from all these simple questions that I probably should know, and I didn't.
This is the day it began to go to Tony's head.
Get ready.
It all began.
Annie and Tom, since you guys had the opportunity to work with each other this time, what did you love about working with her, and what did you love working about him?
Even separated by 2 microphones and 2 stands, the way Annie Potts will look at you with her eyes, it's kind of like that, just a little bit. And when she says the words that you might have said more than any other two, it's like, oh, Woody. Get you every time. You become a little jar of pudding when that happens. Quite start quivering a little bit.
Oh, Woody.
Isn't that just one more time?
Oh, Woody. Well, I'm 66 years old. I've said goodbye to a lot of people and hello and, held hands and looked out into a new future. And that was sweet to play that out. And as we said earlier, I never saw the full script. I never knew exactly what I was doing. Over time, I became aware how important the role was going to be. But not until 3 weeks ago when I saw the thing, I told Josh afterwards, I said, thank you so much for putting this crown on my head. I think she's so lovely, and I hope that my wish was to bring all the experience of my long, colorful life to Kick-Ass Bo.
I just want to know, do you think Woody and Bo Peep will get married? Because you're the cutest couple.
Wait, this could be talking points.
I will say that Woody has known since 1994 that Bo was the figurine for him. He just always knew it. And let me check these talking points.
They're getting harder and harder to find.
Here it is. Toy Story 4 reunites Woody and his long-lost friend Bo Peep, who's become an adventure-seeking free spirit. They discover that they are worlds apart when it comes to life as a toy, and yet they know that fate is an odd thing, and there is no substitution for love in this crazy, kooky, confusing world. It's all right here.
Let's give a collective aww and a round